All right. Have you shot my ceremony or reception venue before? I get this all the time. I get that, and the second one I get is, do you have a video of it? If you have. So a couple things on that. It's not a bad question to ask. I mean, you know,
I don't know.
I certainly don't
I
fault
think it's
anybody.
purposeless. I think it's kind of baseless. We film everywhere. Like, that's what you do.
Right.
And
exactly.
I mean, yeah, I guess you would like to know, but
yeah.
filming ends up being the same unless the church like has insane rules.
Yes.
That's a good time to know.
Exactly. I don't.
But other than that, I mean,
yeah.
It's kind of a baseless question.
It is kind of a baseless question. I agree with that to an extent. However, there are venues that, and I don't know if this is something that even like a bride and groom would know, but there are venues that are very challenging to shoot in. A great example is a venue called the Ivy Room. And the Ivy Room, if you're doing it at night, is extremely dark, like really, really dark. And so the videographer really needs to understand how to work in low light, like really understand how to work in it. Otherwise, you're just going to get shadows of everything. And at the same time, you don't want to have a situation where, you know, some lights being blasted at the bride and groom. And one time when I shot there, I mean, this photographer had a huge LED set up down the aisle, blasting light at them because that venue is so dark. But that's not something that I think a bride and groom would know. I think that's something that more that a videographer or photographer would know. I think that question, I mean, I don't fault anyone for asking questions, of course, but I think that question to be listed as something to ask, it's kind of like you said, it's sort of here nor there.
It should be a little like more in depth of a question, because they're just going to ask about every venue.
Yeah.
And you know, if it's like your basic banquet hall or I don't know, it's baseless.
I agree, and to be, and, you know, let's face it. I mean, Tom, you and I know this. There are like 4 different ways to film a wedding, right? You walk in the door, you take a look at it, and you go, "Okay, here's the setup. You know, this is what we're gonna do," and you can determine that in like 5 or 10 minutes. I mean, you just gotta take a look at the area.
What it should say is,
right?
Have you checked with your church or venue to see if there are strict rules according to videography? You know, like. It should be a more in-depth question.
This question can really be combined with the how much experience do you have. I mean,
that's true.
With
how much experience I've had, I've shot in the strictest of churches.
Right, so you can figure it out now.
Exactly.
Like,
absolutely. You know exactly. I know, like one of the big churches that's that we have here, locally, they refer us out because we know how to film in that location. We get referred there all the time because they're extremely strict, and there are literally a couple places that you can shoot from, and that's it. And it's totally like you can't even get the processional from. You have to go elevated to the second level in order to film that. So you really need to understand how to work in a location like that.
See, and that question, that's what I was trying to say. It should be posed more to your church or venue, not necessarily to your videographer. It does go back to the experience level as well, but that is a good question for your venue or your church.
Yeah, I agree. So, So, again, is this a key question? Not so much. But again, maybe something you'd want to ask your venue or the church.